Hi everyone, Aiden here with etrailer.com. Today we're taking a look at the CURT Premium hanging style bike rack on our 2019 Dodge Grand Caravan. It's going to be a hanging style rack that hangs the bike by the frame. As the name kind of indicates, we've got it hanging in these cradles here, secured down with two straps up top and a third one around the seat post as our anti-sway cradle. That's going to limit the side-to-side movement that your bike has, not completely eliminate it, but help with it, and limit the bike-to-bike contact, and in the case of bikes with very large tires, maybe some bike-to-vehicle contact too. One thing you can do to limit that is just wrap a cam buckle strap around the front tire to the frame, kind of binds up this whole front tire here and keeps it still. Now, the CURT Premium here is going to be great for kids' bikes. These arms narrow together at the end and accommodate that smaller frame size a lot easier, so we don't have to worry about bike adapter bars as much right out of the box, which I really enjoy. One thing you do want to keep in mind though is alternative frame bikes will need a bike adapter bar to hang properly, and we want to avoid carbon frame bikes because hanging by the frame will damage the frame. Overall, it's got a 180-pound weight capacity, and if you go with the 5-bike version, it's going to have an additional cradle at the end for the kids' bikes and have a 225-pound weight capacity total. Now I'll get the bike unloaded here by just undoing those straps, and we can show you the tilting function. Pretty easy to get the straps undone, and then we just walk the whole bike back with those straps out of the way, ideally. There you go. And then we can just set it off to the side. Overall, not too bad. As you get to the smaller frames, maybe a smaller bike, that can be a little more tricky to get it on that innermost cradle especially, but not too bad overall. And I always like to replace these straps just for the sake of cleanliness and keeping things in place. There we go. And then to tilt it away, come down to the bottom here. We've got a hand knob on the back that'll loosen, a pin and clip on the side that I'll remove, and then a pull pin at the top right here to release it and tilt it back. And then we can open up our hatch. This is going to let us change our shoes before or after our ride, give us a place to sit, or just get something out of the back without fully removing the bike rack from the hitch. You do need to have bikes unloaded though, because you can see it does tilt down pretty far and your bikes will probably hit the ground. We don't want that. Get this closed up and replace all of these in the reverse order that I took it off. And the reason there's so much going on down here, it might seem a little excessive, but it's because the bike rack is motorhome approved too. It's got to be built extra strong to absorb the extra shock and vibration back there. So that's why there's a lot of extra touch points and things limiting the movement at this upright portion. And from here, let's get some measurements. We'll start off with our distance added to the back. And that's going to be sitting at 36 inches here, which isn't too bad, but it does add a fair amount of length. And if we want to leave this in the hitch between rides, we can condense things down a bit when bikes are unloaded, folding the arms down, re-securing that pin and clip up top. And that new distance is only going to be adding 11 inches to the back of the vehicle. So that's a lot more condensed, a lot more reasonable, and overall not too obstructive. Your backup camera is kind of positioned off to the side here, so you should still have good visibility. It will be in the shot, but it shouldn't be too bad. And we get pretty good visibility of our license plate here. At the bottom, it's working with our 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube and comes with a anti-rattle bolt. I'd always recommend upgrading to a locking anti-rattle bolt just so it has that extra security. And you can pair it up with a cable lock that'll loop through this loop at the back of the upright. And overall, if you're looking at a hanging style bike rack, I really like this one. I like that it's going to work with those kids' bikes right out of the box. So I think for a family, this makes the most sense. And if you need the 5th bike, you can get the 5-bike version instead. I think it's a really solid rack, and it's going to work well with the Grand Caravan here. Thanks for watching.
Here it is on our test course. We'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Next, we're at the alternating speed bumps, which we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Finally, we have the full speed bumps, where we'll see the up and down action, which is just like driving out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway.